Imagine you're watching your favorite team play, but they never kept the score. Or what if your bank wasn't able to tell you how much money you had in your account? Or maybe you or someone you love needs to track biometrics on a regular basis for health and safety. The point is, numbers matter, and we need numbers like these to quickly let us know where we're at today so we can make the best decisions for tomorrow. Unfortunately, there's never been an easy way to know which community associations are thriving and which ones might not be. This ignorance and uncertainty hasn't served us well. The tragic collapse of Champlain Tower South is a prime example. The board and the owners didn't know how close to danger they were, so they had no reason to make any changes. This is why we've developed the FiPhO Health Score. With one simple number, everyone can know the financial, physical, and operational health of any community association. In this section of our AIM introduction webinar, we'll give you a quick introduction to this new FiPhO scoring system and how it came about.
To our audience today, thank you for your time, your attention, and frankly, your curiosity. I'm here today to talk about something that is in the best interests of your association, but doesn't directly involve reserve studies. We prepared the first ever reserve study for Champlain Tower South 2 years ago, in early 2020, when that property was 39 years old. And because of its deteriorated state, we delivered bad news that included a large, hard-to-swallow special assessment. And we all know now that the board simply ran out of time to implement that plan to try to make up for decades of unchecked deterioration. That tragedy exposed what I believe are the cracks in the community association industry that we've been similarly ignoring, and it set us on a path to launch a new public service that I'll be discussing today. And this is how we'll divide our time. I'll start out laying out the background to the score and what it does, and then actually show you how it all works, doing a live demo. Well, we've all grown accustomed to numbers that help us make decisions, things that distill complex information into something easy to understand. And a great way to think of it is like sunscreen. You don't need to know the chemical compound or the mixture of things. All you need to know is the SPF rating of these very similarly bottled, but very different sunscreens. On the left of 50, meaning you'll get a lot of protection, 30 is medium protection, and 15 is not a lot of protection. And the number makes all the difference. Or it could be the calories in food products, helping you watch your diet or understand if the upcoming serving is going to be tiny or huge. And we all care about our personal FiPhO scores. That number reports our history, multi-year history of financial behavior, and it reports it to outside parties that want to know how risky or safe we are when it comes to financial matters. All that history wrapped up in one number. And that brings us to community associations, multi-million-dollar nonprofit entities. They're run, as you know, by an untrained volunteer board of directors, and you ask yourself what could possibly go wrong. Multi-million-dollar properties run by untrained volunteer board of directors. Well, as we see in our reserve studies, you can see that some do things like letting the asphalt just plain deteriorate and get unsightly, or allowing the pool deck to deteriorate to a point where the kids jumping in this pool are going to stub their toes and have a painful experience. Or it could be failing to paint parts of the building that fundamentally need to be painted, or parts of the perimeter of the property that need to be painted. All this is evidence of the financial decisions the board makes on a regular basis, the decisions they make to keep the monthly assessments low and not raise them to a point where the board has the funds it needs to keep the property in a good state of repair. In this cartoon, you see a very deteriorated property and the real estate representative suggesting rustic architecture, and they aren't wasting the dues on funding reserves and taking care of the place. And you can see that the potential buyers are not all that impressed. But there's more. You can see situations where the board is flat out turning a blind eye to deterioration, like this pool bathroom or what used to be a tennis court. And the board has left this to be abandoned and reclaimed by nature. Or it could be something like this one, letting balcony decks deteriorate. And this is a dock and accessway bridge that simply is falling apart and is unsafe. I was very careful walking down this bridge, aware that I had to be very careful. I didn't want to be the one to punch through another one of these wood members. And so safety is an issue that's been in the back of our minds. And so while it was tragic that Champlain Tower South collapsed last June, in retrospect, it wasn't all that surprising. And we found that in itself unsettling, that the kind of decisions we'd been casually writing off as silly or unwise financially are now potentially very dangerous. It's no longer just a minor thing. Now, this is the profile of reserve fund strength across the country. About 30% of all associations are in the red weak zone on the left, where those boards aren't keeping up with deterioration. And as associations every year get older and older, those associations in the weak zone are exposing themselves to larger and larger consequences of deferred maintenance, or maybe I should say more significant consequences of deferred maintenance. And the problem is especially worse in states like Florida, where owners have the power to waive reserve funding. We have a large portfolio of clients in Florida, so we have enough data to map here, and you can see that instead of curling off as you get to really weak associations, a lot of Florida associations vote to waive reserves and just are facing the consequences. The number is 30% in the red zone here, and it's almost 45% in the red zone in Florida. And that's a real problem with the board and the owners at cross purposes. The owners just wanting to keep the assessments low, the board trying to raise assessments to provide enough money to run the place. And this is a picture of me at Champlain Tower South in December last year. It's a very sobering place. You could almost smell the tragedy right in the air. And it was very clear something fundamentally in our industry had to change. And by that time, we were working on the concept of this new idea, new public service. And we were, at this point in time, committed to doing whatever we could to turn the tide and begin to make this into reality. We realized that with 35 years in this industry, with clients in every state that we've been supporting, every management company, we are already experts in the physical and financial behaviors of association. All this put together, we realized we were the right people to try to make a change. And the goal was to introduce something virtuous, something aspirational to improve the future of our industry and turn attention away from the key metric that continually drives our industry right now. And that's that siren song leading associations down a destructive path as they pursue low monthly assessments. And of course, knowing our client base, it needed to be free. And again, knowing our clients, it would be really nice if we could make it actually provide an income stream for the association or the management company. So we put all these ideas into the hopper, and we came out with this new public service called Association Insights and Marketplace, and what we call the FiPhO Health Score. It's the combination of the financial health, physical health, and operational health.
With AIM, we've forever changed the way we think, talk, and make decisions about association-governed communities. Like any other measurement or scoring system, I believe you'll soon look back and wonder how you ever lived without knowing your association's FiPhO score. If you want to join us in promoting transparency and actionable insights for boards, buyers, and the businesses serving associations, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Leave a comment down below on what you'd like to see us address in a future video. Together, let's create a better future.